Hearing my voice or reading a page from my journal. What is really happening inside me? Can I try a little harder to reach for what actually is? Can I avoid hiding behind my bravado? Do my words sound honest? I'm dubious towards myself because I repressed and censored myself for so many years. Well, let's see. Let's try to navigate. Before the nervous breakdown, I used my inner reality, like those nice pictures in a family album. I isolated desirable parts of real events that happened to me and embellished them. Once I had enough of these doctored thoughts, I put them together to make a story convenient to me. Even more, I sprinkled my story with clever things I learned from different information channels such as books, media, parents, teachers, friends, leaders of all sorts. I learned to lie very early on as a child, and the older I became, the more sophisticated I've gotten. I am writing this journal as a well-being practice for my trauma therapy. The trick is to reach as deep into myself as I can and bring out genuine emotional intelligence as close to the truth as possible. And the truth is not at all like those cute looking photos of me as a baby. The images of me as a child are burnt into my psyche, together with the stories my parents told about them. I can't recall the actual events or circumstances around the time they were taken. I don't have my own memories of this figure of me as a child, sitting in a baby chair with a toy in my hands, eyes full of strange intensity. If I put aside the story I was told, I am left with this daunting feeling and a thought. Oh my God, what was this baby really going through at that age? All this is before the age of 5. The clarity of my memories, they kick in around 4 and 5. Reaching into me for genuine truth is not easy. I constantly hit the roadblocks of these nice doctored stories I constructed for myself to cover up the inconvenient, painful, traumatizing content. My body freezes in fear, my heart starts racing, my mind becomes foggy. I am resistant, protective, disoriented, anticipating personal honesty. I would rather not remove my fake views of my own goodness and righteousness. I would rather stay in denial. I am already proud of the order I created within myself. I am an upstanding adult who can run this admirable shiny script so well. I survived thanks to my ability to carefully weave the tapestry of these great stories of mine. I adopted my wishfulness to replace that unknown true identity I must have had. I am feeling lost. My body gets heavy. I want to disappear. I am choosing to stay with the uncomfortable. I'm so desperate for a life that's genuine and worth a while living that I'm taking a risk. I must admit I spent so many years not wanting to be in my skin, depressed all over the place emotionally, my spirit feeling incredibly low, scared, disconnected from myself, from my family, disconnected from the world, angry, wishing to die. My true voice bubbles up in my mind. I can hear it. I'm saying it. Help me. Help me. And this is a genuine part of me yearning for help. And all I've done most of my life was turn the blind eye to that voice. I stumbled forward, achieving, lying, neglecting, powering through, hoping desperately that this voice would go away. I admit that attending to my disastrous mental, emotional, spiritual states might mean entering into a territory of vulnerability. Too much vulnerability. I'm scared. Taking a route towards personal reform that may leave me without the survival armor I invested so much into crafting. And this proposition seems hardly attractive. For the longest time, the idea of opening up, taking a risk, coming out and asking for help was out of the question for me. I modeled my stories along the lines of personal strength and greatness, being powerful. All my juice and life went into shaping this monumental, heroic projection of myself. And the model I worked on, I've seen a lot of it. In a nutshell, it sounds like this. I am better, more important than you are, and if you're not helpful to me, you will be sorry. And after that, you are written out of my heart. And this was the winning algorithm of behavior I observed so much as a child. Extreme prejudice based in fear. Powerful rule of the iron will. The prospect of thinking this way did not seem to make sense to me at 5 years old. I was really unwise to take this on, to choose to shape in that direction. I ended up putting all my stakes in this horrible game of becoming a superhero. I failed pretty hard at it. I'm feeling glad to finally hear and appreciate the cry for help that's stemming from the core of my being. As I change my mind about who I really am, as I open up to myself, I begin to feel warmth and expansiveness permeate in my body. I'm vibrating with potent energy. My pains and tightness subside. I feel light as a feather. My heart feels big and regulates down to beat evenly. My breathing is deep, abundant. I feel calm, satisfied. My facial muscles naturally fold into a smile. I am quietly appreciating this state of joyfulness. Thank you. Gratitude rises in my consciousness. I feel compassion towards my hurt, broken heart itself. I carefully hold this feeling in me as I am being nourished by it. And hearing my voice reading a page from my journal. What is really happening inside me? Can I try a little harder to reach for what actually is? Can I avoid hiding behind my bravado? Do my words sound honest?